The penultimate event in this year's MSA South African Rally Championship. It was back to the Western Cape for the Cape Rally, organised by the Cape Peninsula Motorcycle and Car Club, with all the usual last-minute preparations and formalities. It's the Table Mountain on a clear spring day, with competitors in this year's National Rally Championship making their final visit of the year to the fairest Cape of them all. Headquarters for the Cape Rally were at the Killarney race circuit, with the pit and paddock a hive of activity as the cream of the country's rallyists went through documentation, scrutineering and other formalities associated with the sport at this level. With the season drawing to a close, it was crunch time for title hopefuls. Leading the overall drivers and co-drivers championships were Serge Damso and Robert Paisley. Crews have to drop one event at the end of the season, and this added to various permutations and rising tension among the title contenders. It was home territory for championship leader Serge Damso, who was aiming at taking a step closer to securing his 8th South African Drivers' Championship.
You know, we've got quite a few points ahead if Etienne drops one. But, you know, if you look at it, Habig and myself can't afford to drop. That's it. You know, we fall out and then Etienne's got it.
The third factor in the Drivers' Championship battle was Etienne Lawrence.
I don't want to make any predictions or anything like that. I think we all have got to go as hard as we can, get maximum points, because I've still got to drop an event. So, you know, at this point I've got 24 points to drop, which puts me 4 points behind Habib in 3rd place. So, but anything can happen. The pace is quite hot, and anyone can make a mistake. So we could all try and get to the end, get maximum points.
The leading contenders in the Group N Championship battle were Team Total Toyota pair Dean Sanders and Graham Hooper, and reigning Drivers' Champion Hannes Frobler and Brian Duncan from the Total Bridgestone Nissan camp. Apart from the Frobler-Duncan challenge in the overall championship, Sanders and Hooper also had the Class N2 title to think about.
Well, we've got to beat him on one of the last two, basically, if we don't have any problems, you know. And if we can do that, it'll be fine. But we've also got to look at the N2 championship and try and hopefully wrap that up on this one, and then we can give it a full go next time. But we'll just see how it goes.
For their part, the hugely experienced Frobler and Duncan had most of the tactical angles covered.
Well, we have to first finish, and we're going to try and finish ahead of him. So we're probably not going to try and beat the guys with the modified cars ahead of us. But we'll see, you know, anything can happen in a rally, and we'll have to see what's going to happen.
A short Friday program on the Cape Rally was to be followed by a tough second day. Teams would move into traditional Cape Rally territory in the Swartland, with the N7 providing teams and spectators easy access to what promised to be some great action. Friday's menu was cut to 3 special stages after the cancellation of 1 special stage because of a bridge wash-away. First car away at the start at the Killarney race circuit was the Team Total Toyota Corolla of championship contenders Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley. Next up were local heroes Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson in the dealer Team Toyota Corolla, with the pair hailing from the Western Cape.
1 minute.
Sasol VW pair Chart van der Walt and Cindy Harding have been rallying together for 11 seasons and started ahead of reigning champions and Sasol VW teammates Jan Habig and Doug Judd.
Our approach will have to be flat out from the beginning, and you know, I believe that the reliability is there now, so I don't think it should be a problem for this event or the next one. And maybe the other guys have a bit of a lapse in their reliability.
The pressure was on for Jan Habig and Doug Judd. After 2 non-finishes this season, victory in the final 2 events of the season was a must. But another failure to see out the distance would effectively blow their title challenge out of the water. From the start, crews headed for the only gravel special stage of the day in the tranquil Potsdam area. Pockets of snow still on the mountains were a reminder that spring had not yet fully sprung. With only the Potsdam stage and 2 super specials at Killarney on Friday's agenda, there were not likely to be any fireworks from the leading contenders. Team Total Toyota pair Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley are not often cast in the role of pathfinders on national rallies, and went into the event as the only top-flight crew with a 100% finish record this season. Being first on the road often places a little extra pressure on crews, but Lawrence and Paisley settled in nicely and posted the 3rd fastest time. Behind Lawrence and Paisley, the factory pair of Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson were on familiar ground. But for the fact that this season they campaign a Class A6 car, Damso and Hodgson would have been cast in the role of outright favourites to win the Cape Rally. Class A6 car or not, the experienced Damso and Hodgson had already led Toyota to a pair of 1-2 finishes during the season. Taking into account dropped points at the end of the season, Damso had a tight hold on the Drivers' Championship. The Sasol VW team was looking to Chad van der Walt and Cindy Harding to run interference on the Toyota entries, but those plans were scuppered within a few hundred meters of the start of Special Stage 1.
Just make sure that
A broken fuel rail was spraying petrol onto the windscreen and into the interior of the Sasol VW Golf, and Van der Walt and Harding put self-preservation high on the agenda and abandoned ship. While Van der Walt delved into the innards of the VW Golf, co-driver Harding held up the reverse side of the board that signals the crew are okay as Habak and Judd started out on the stage. For Habak and Judd, it was a bitter disappointment to realize that they were now out on their own in the fight against the Toyota camp. Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson took 4 seconds off Lawrence and Paisley, and Habak and Judd responded by taking 2 seconds off the factory Toyota. For a bitterly disappointed Chad van der Walt and Cindy Harding, it was the end of the road.
The fuel rail came loose, and so it's pouring fuel all over the engine. So if we try and drive it and it ignites, then we'll burn. It's not worth taking a chance.
Discretion the better part of valor for Van der Walt and Harding, but building up ahead of steam were Group N and Class N2 contenders, Dean Saunders and Graham Hooper in the team total Toyota Corolla. The Potsdam stage was a switchback affair, and as Saunders and Hooper disappeared down the road, they doubled past arch Class N2 rivals Quivers Russ and Neil Paris in the SALive.com Toyota. Back at the Killarney Service Park, crews were hard at work changing tyres for the first of the Super Specials, which feature 2 cars at the same time on a mirror image course. Apart from a few metres of gravel, the Killarney stage was run all on tar, and off came the gravel tyres and on went the near racing slicks. The organisers bunched up all the competitors at the start of the first Super Special stage, and in among the general light-hearted camaraderie, there were 1 or 2 furrowed brows. Thrown together in one of the 2 car matches were current Class A7 championship leaders Tony Ball and Marty Olivier, and Class A6 kingpins Jean-Pierre Damso and Johan Klaassen. Ball and Olivier were out in the Bulwer Park VW Golf, with Damso and Johan Klaassen in the team total Toyota Corolla. Damso is the son of multiple champion Serge Damso, and after a dreadful start to the season, the Somerset West youngster and Umschlanger-based Klaassen were showing a return to form in the latter part of the series. A huge crowd was enjoying the action provided by the Super Special format, with the cars lapping Killarney the wrong way round. The veteran Ball is one of the most experienced campaigners in national rallying, but Damso was showing all the enthusiasm of youth. The Toyota crew was 7 seconds faster, with interest then switching to the clash between overall Group N championship rivals Dean Saunders and Graham Hooper, and Hannes Krobler and Brian Duncan. It was also a case of the Class N3 championship leaders up against the Class N2 frontrunners, with the odds stacked slightly in favour of Krobler and Duncan in the total Bridgestone Nissan Sentra. The Nissan pair had the advantage of a few extra 100 cc's, with Krobler also a hugely accomplished race car driver. National titles on the track in off-road racing and in rallying speak volumes for Hannes Krobler's skill and versatility as a driver. He's also one of the nicest guys in motorsport, and to no one's surprise took a few seconds off Saunders. When championship contenders Jan Habak and Doug Judd lined up for the start of the stage, there alongside them were Chad van der Walt and Cindy Harding. The pair were out of the rally, but in what amounted to a guest appearance, agreed to even out the numbers and go head-to-head with Habak and Judd to provide the crowd with a little extra entertainment. 2-time champion Jan Habak has concentrated throughout his career on rallying and brings to the track the spectacular aggression that is a hallmark of his rally driving. Chad van der Walt is also no slouch, and the 2 Sasol VW Golf factory drivers had the crowd going wild in what turned into a desperately close finish. Habak and Judd sneaked through to take the stage win, with the enthusiasts royally entertained by the 2 crews. There was also a huge amount of interest in the clash between the dealer team Toyota pair of Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson and the team total pair of Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley. Damso is another of those talented stars who's equally at home on the track or out on the rally route. On the track, Damso has driven everything from standard saloon cars through to modified saloons and touring cars, and is a multiple Western Province and national champion. By contrast, Lawrence is a rally expert, but versatility is also a quality of which the KwaZulu-Natalian has an abundance. At the end of the two super specials, there was only 1 second between the two cars. There was a festive atmosphere in the stands, with further entertainment provided by Mario Swart and Jan Syme. The pair made acquaintance with one of Killarney's safety walls, and there were ironic cheers from the crowd. Syme looked a little put out by developments, and the SALive.com Honda Ballard was a little the worse for wear.
Maurice, you okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Just a bit of a miscalculation?
Yeah, we lost it. It's the sand on the road, yeah. It's just absolutely lost it.
At the end of the first day, a 14-second lead for Jan Habak and Doug Judd, with second-placed Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley leading Serge Damso and Guy Hodgson by 3 seconds. The stage was set for an intriguing battle on day 2 of the Cape Rally. A lull before the storm at the first service park on the outskirts of Malmesbury, with the resumption of battle eagerly awaited. With only 3 special stages, day 1 of the Cape Rally had not proved a great deal, but everyone was girding their loins for what promised to be a second day packed with action.